Let's take a look at Leviticus 12. The previous chapter shows us that the world around us is filled with unclean things, and we can become contaminated by contact with them. The external character of sin is characterized by the physical elements of certain animals, fish, birds, and insects, and all dead things. Sin is all around us. It's everywhere in the world. And this chapter is going to show that we are imperfect and in need of reconciliation with Elohim. We cannot reconcile with him on our own because we're imperfect creatures trying to reconcile with a perfect, infinitely perfect Elohim. See, that's not a reconciliation that we can do. That's a reconciliation he has to do for us. And we won't be fully reconciled with him until the resurrection. Paul speaks of this also in 1 Corinthians 15. Starting at verse 50, he writes, "Now I say this, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Elohim, nor does the perishable inherit the imperishable. Behold, I tell you a mystery, we shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet, for the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised imperishable, and we shall be changed. For this perishable must put on the imperishable, and this mortal must put on immortality. But when this perishable will have put on the imperishable, and this mortal will have put on immortality, then will come about the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is your victory? O death, where is your sting? But thanks be to Elohim who gives us the victory through our Master Yeshua Messiah. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Master, knowing that your toil is not in vain in the Master." Okay, Leviticus 12, the first two verses. Read, "Then Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, saying, When a woman gives birth and bears a male child, then she shall be unclean for 7 days, as in the days of her menstruation she shall be unclean." The woman is unclean likely because of the blood involved in the childbirth. It says she's unclean in the same manner as in the days of her menstruation. Verse 3, "And on the 8th day the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised." A lot of research has been performed examining the biological processes that lead to blood clotting. It's actually a miraculous thing, the way our blood clots. How it works is the timing. It can't clot too much or else we'll die, and if it doesn't clot, we'll bleed out. But the healing of a wound is dependent upon that swift clotting of blood. And if it continues to bleed, it's very susceptible to infection. The two most important factors in blood clotting are vitamin K and prothrombin. Now, these two items are at their highest levels in the 8th day of an infant's life. They are at the 110% of normal level, which is fascinating. This means that typically one of the best times for a person to have minor surgery would be on the 8th day of their life. Elohim doesn't give just random instructions and commands. He gives them with a purpose and with his provisions. That fact was in Dr. Russell's book, What the Bible Says About Healthy Living. Verse 4 of Leviticus 12. "Then she shall remain in the blood of her purification for 33 days. She shall not touch any consecrated thing, nor enter the sanctuary until the days of her purification are completed." Now, Yeshua was also circumcised on the 8th day. Then Yeshua was brought to the temple when Mary's days of purification were over. We read about that in Luke 2, starting at verse 21. "And when 8 days were completed before his circumcision, his name was then called Yeshua, the name given by the angel before he was conceived in the womb. And when the days for their purification, according to the Torah of Moses, were completed, they brought him up to Jerusalem to present him to the Master. As it is written in the Torah of the Master, every firstborn male that opens a womb shall be called holy to Yahweh." Now, a woman who has a male son is not to touch any consecrated thing or enter the tabernacle until the days of her purification are over. Now, a lot of people don't know what that means exactly, but in our day and age and where we are right now, there is no tabernacle, there is no temple, there are no offerings that are done. There are no consecrated implements used in the offerings for us. So it doesn't affect us. It will one day, but it does not right now. Yeah.
They owe us 8 days and then 33 days. Is that, does the 33 include the 8?
Yes, I believe it includes the 8.
And the 66 would include the 16?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. It sort of read that way.
Yeah, it sort of reads that way to me. And then verse 6, when the days of her purification are completed for a son or for a daughter, hold it. Verse 5, where'd verse 5 go? What'd you do with verse 5? Okay, what'd you do with verse 5? All right, don't let it happen again. I'll read it to you. But if she bears a female child, then she shall be unclean for 2 weeks, as in her menstruation, and she shall remain in the blood of her purification for 66 days. Okay, the cleansing time for a female child, twice as much as the cleansing for a male child, and they give absolutely no reason for this. I've read a lot of explanations for this, and only one explanation to me made the most sense. The mother probably goes through the purification rite for herself and for her daughter, and she doesn't have to go through it for the son because he is purified in the circumcision. So that's my thought. That explanation made the most sense to me. Now we'll go to verse 6. And when the days of her purification are completed for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring to the priest at the doorway of the tent of meeting a 1-year-old lamb for a burnt offering and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering. Then he shall offer it up before Yahweh and make atonement for her, and she shall be cleansed from the flow of her blood. This is the law, the Torah for her who bears a child, whether a male or a female. But if she cannot afford a lamb, then she shall take 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons, the one for a burnt offering, the other for a sin offering. The priest shall make atonement for her, and she shall be clean. Now, when Mary gave birth to Yeshua, she and Joseph were very poor. She gave 2 turtle doves as an offering. Going back to Luke 2, verse 24, and to offer a sacrifice according to what was said in the Torah of Yahweh, a pair of turtle doves or 2 young pigeons. Why didn't they use some of that gold, frankincense, and myrrh that they got? No, my manger scene said they did get it.
You're right.
Yeah, they didn't arrive until probably a year or 2 later. It said they went to a house. They didn't go to a sukkah or a manger. So all those Christmas manger scenes are disappointingly incorrect.